Okay, so all we found out so far is that Catherine does not understand how to operate cars.
Yeah, we know that. We've seen her drive. Oh my god! Save that for later, Neil. Go!
Okay, so... Oh, that's a dead raccoon, guys.
Okay, we need to censor ourselves.
I wanted to go to Springdale Cemetery at night to go ghost hunting, but apparently it's too spicy. So now...
Can we go ziplining?
That is not a zip line.
the bridge up, honey.
Anyways, but apparently it's too unsafe. So now we're walking back into the woods to tell some ghost stories to the vlog before we take you guys to some other creepy places in central Illinois. They were just telling me how they're allergic to bugs.
It's fine. Only the bugs that bite.
Anyways, honestly, I'm the only one who actually knows where we're going right now. So theoretically, I could just murder all of them and they'd never know. And then I'd have like a DIY video of how to lure your best friends to the middle of the woods and kill them. So it started raining on us, but here we are still walking in the woods.
I didn't know that we were doing some like rainforest in the Amazon.
We're in Lincoln, Illinois right now, Gabby.
Oh, this is so pretty.
I know.
I forget that we're here to talk about how it's not really pretty.
I should have brought my tarot cards.
Neil, you know who else is pretty? Me.
Gabby, you're something, that's
You know
for sure.
who's really confident? Gabby.
Wait, I didn't hear you.
We just said, oh, wait,
Spiky.
Do you guys want to know what I did?
guys, please don't slip.
No.
So there's
Okay.
Okay, so back when I was a little infant, but when I was growing up, before I moved here down south, southern Illinois, there were these 7 gates in Collinsville, which is about like 40 minutes away from St. Louis, in Madison County. They are like, they've been around for a while. Like my grandma's 80 now, and they've been around ever since she was a baby. So these gates are kind of like, you go into them. These 7 gates, if you go through them and you reach the last one by midnight, there's like 2 different sides. So my mom and I were talking about it. My mom said that you just like see the devil, like you don't go. But my version of it is that the last gate's like a portal to hell. So like you would be in there, you would like meet Cerberus, and you would like see the three-headed dog.
That is Cerberus, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I was just saying. So basically, okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, they're all in Collinsville, though. There's none, like, that's spread out.
Did you ever go through one?
Yeah. Well, usually, like, my friend and I wanted to go through them, but you can't really, like, there's Acid Bridge, which is one of the 7 gates of hell, but that one is not safe to go through. It's not safe at all. But my friend and I wanted to go through them, like, all of them, but we didn't get enough time to. But the road that I used to take to go to my old house back in, like, the day, we used to go through.
That was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago.
Back in my day. No, if we wanted to go the back road into my old house, we would literally just go through one of the gates and it would be fine. But the latest time that I went through one of them, my friend and I got lost and we were just kind of roaming around. And it was near Collinsville, and we went through it, and it was the worst feeling I've ever experienced. Like, I mean, my stomach literally fell to my feet. Like, that's how, like, scared I was. It was just such, like, a bad, like, omen. Almond? I was like, almond.
It was a bad almond, guys. It was a bad almond.
Not a bone. I'm disappointed now. It's just a rock.
Rocco?
Sometimes you find bones in the rock. This
It's
is not
Rocco.
one of those.
Okay, that's pretty much it, yeah.
All right.
Don't throw my bone rock.
Is that usually the whole reason on why it became like what it is today is because when kids would do it, like teenagers, they would die afterwards. Like they would wreck.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
so, like,
God,
driving
oh,
North Mill
I
with
read
the
a book
headlights.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would go to hell because they wrecked.
What? Oh my God, wait, do people go to hell if they wreck?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't say that, Gabriella.
This. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
Don't steal my joke. It's not funny when you say it.
So this story is about a house located in Alton, and if you've ever seen the first season of American Horror Story, this is pretty much like the real life version of that, which is kind of scary. But the McPike Mansion is located in Alton, Illinois, like we've said before, which is near St. Louis. And it's said to be majorly haunted. So it sits on top of a hill, and it's 15 acres altogether. So that includes like all of the, I don't know, do they have farm stuff over there? Anything that they have on their property takes up 15 acres. Anyway, the property is 15 acres altogether. It was built in 1869, so there's a lot of history behind it. And the first owner, nothing really special happened. First owner, nothing really special happened. He just kind of built the house. But by 1925, 2 owners had died pretty mysteriously inside of that house. And after that second owner died in 1925, the house was robbed and it kind of became abandoned for a while. It fell victim to a lot of theft and like break-ins. It was deemed a National Historical Site in June of 1980, but it was still left abandoned until 1994, where the property was purchased by a couple who wanted to turn it into a hotel, but ended up just seeing kind of the renovation of the house as it stood before. So as those owners started the restoration process, one of them was gardening out front when she saw a man dressed in old-fashioned attire, and after a moment that man disappeared. So this was kind of the beginning of the real paranormal activity as seen in the house. And then after she found some digging, she found a picture of that man who was a previous owner, dressed in very similar clothing, and that picture of the man was in the house, and she had just seen him in the front yard. So you can go and visit the mansion today, and visitors often report seeing strange mists and orbs, and some of those have been captured in photos. And they've also smelled lilac perfume, which was thought to be that of a former servant of the house. There will be flashlights that die unexpectedly while kind of wandering the grounds. And then you can hear metal doors opening and closing, and there are many reports of feeling paranormal energy hot spots, especially in the wine cellar. Online, through the McPike Mansion website, there are a lot of photos and videos and recordings of different paranormal activities. So if you get the chance, stop down to the mansion. We should do that this summer.
I agree.
I agree.
You can like book a paranormal tour.
We could go see Savannah.
No.
We can,
or not. But
we can put the link in this video.
It's very similar to...
Link in bio.
Link in bio, y'all.
It's very similar to the American Horror Story Season 1 murder house, where the victims of the house do not leave and they remain in that house. So over time,
they
it's just
leave.
It's not how paranormal activity works, Gabby.
Have you considered asking them to
over
leave?
time, there have just been more and more people who have met their fate on the grounds of the house and have remained and still remain there today.
Make it swing.
Gross.
My story is about Gabby, I still can't remember what it is.
I wasn't paying attention. Okay. This is good quality.
On top of this.
This is good
So
quality.
there will be a blooper reel. Anyways, my story is about H.H. Holmes. Also, his name was Dr. Henry Howard Holmes.
Didn't he make up his mind?
I don't know.
Where does the HH come from?
Henry Howard!
Jesus.
Howard Bellington Crispers!
Shut up.
I thought
Okay, anyways.
Head word.
So H.H. Holmes was a con artist.
We can't get fired. We're gonna get kicked out.
H.H. Holmes, he was a con artist and serial killer who popularly operated in Chicago during the 1880s. He was said to have a murder hotel where things they didn't make sense logistically. There were staircases to nowhere. There were rooms that didn't make sense and you could get trapped in them. There were trap doors, stuff like that. Hallways that led to nowhere. And he confessed to killing 27 people. His crimes and his stories...
That's a weak number.
bump it up.
I know.
Come on.
His story was memorialized in the book The Devil in the White City, which is a really good book if you haven't read it and you want a more dramatized version of and you want a dramatized version of the events that took place, you should go read it, because H.H. Holmes kidnapped people from the World's Fair that year in Chicago, and he was said to have actually created this hotel in order to do so.
That's a lot of work.
He was only ever confirmed to have killed 9 people, but no, he was only ever to have confirmed to kill 1 person, but they suspect 9 people, even though he confessed to 27. If you don't know very much about serial killers, many of them, in order to just gain more attention, especially if they're already life in prison, will say that they have killed more people than they have just for fun. And
The colors of the wind. The one Pocahontas song.
Yeah, we got the joke. It just wasn't funny.
Okay. You don't like Pocahontas?
H.H. Holmes and his story about the murder hotel heavily influenced the season of American Horror Story named Hotel. I didn't even realize that Neil and I had similar influences to the same show, but if you've ever seen season 5, you know that hotel was largely built for Lady Gaga's character to kill people, and she would lure them there under what we shall call for the time false pretenses in order to murder them for her own benefit. So yeah, that is the story of H.H. Holmes.
Good at telling jokes. Why are you feeling like that?
I have so much editing to do. Springdale Cemetery in Peoria, Illinois is home to 78,000 people that are buried there currently. There is 1 public mausoleum, and 15 private mausoleums. One of the legends surrounding the cemetery is called the Witch's Circle, also referred to as Coal Circle. The secluded circle is said to be a popular area for people. The secluded circle is said to be a popular area for people that have performed witchcraft and satanic rituals. A little bit of spice. Ooh. Are we gonna get murdered?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get murdered.
Okay.
There's 4 of them right here.
Be careful, Shay. You always go first. If you get us murdered, I swear to God. And it's not that
You know I'd be the one to get us
chosen
murdered.
to gang.
Everyone's a good part of this group.
It is said that multiple people have hung themselves. One of the legends surrounding the cemetery is called the Witch's Circle or Coal Circle, which is a circle in the area where it is rumored that people perform witchcraft and satanic rituals. A little bit of spice. It's a circle of graves of family members of the Cole family who worked for the first distillery in the city. In addition to the Witch's Circle, it is said that multiple people have chosen to hang themselves from in addition to the Witch's Circle, everything.
We're literally talking about murders.
No, the way Catherine went.
Okay, no.
So happy to be there.
No. But it's the way we're literally talking about murders, and there's a bunch of other people in these woods, and we're not sure if we just heard a dog bark or a person scream.
Well, if we mind our own business, then it doesn't matter.
Just go.
We cannot be those kind of white people.
And say.
I'm rocking with Mark because he's rocking with us.
It is also said that many people have chosen to hang themselves from sassafras trees that are located around the cemetery. It also has a connection to Peoria's first serial killer, first serial rapist in the early 1930s. The naked body of a young woman had been raped and murdered was found in Springdale Cemetery. Her murder let fear settle over the city. As no one.
Maybe we film our other stories in the car.
I think that's a great.
Okay, but the more you guys talk, the longer it takes.
Bree, finish your story.
Okay, I'm trying. They didn't know how her body ended up there, and it wasn't until a survivor of a later attack came forward and identified Gerald Thompson as the offender in these cases.
I'm recording everything simply because if anything happens. Gabby, off.
Somebody have my phone?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Someone go first.
Oh no!
Okay, we don't go anywhere without each other.
Wanna go?
Okay, the most masculine looking of us has to go first.
There were just people jumping into the water and it was really cold, and apparently that they were screaming like they were being killed.
Guys,
That's which is normal. It's so normal.
so what we're telling you
We literally
is
cleared out that area so fast because there was somebody doing some sketchy stuff back there. So, oh my god.
Oh my gosh!
So we were clearing out of that area anyway.
okay.
I knew I would die in horror movies. Guys, we're fine.
Guys, none of us are the stereotype of people who survive the horror movie.
No, because I would survive the horror movie.
Shut up, Catherine.
Catherine, we are not drawing attention to ourselves and trying to be in one right now. Even if they're just jumping into really cold water, I don't want to find
There was
out.
that other dude back there,
No,
though, who literally
okay.
sat and watched us the entire time.
No, it was literally a random old. He wasn't old. He was like maybe 35, but he was just like, we were literally telling our stories, and he was just sitting there the whole time, like watching us and also just staring at the water. And like, obviously I can't be like leave, but
Overall,
it was
10 out of 10
kind of
experience.
creepy. Yeah, 10 out of 10 experience. Once we get back to like, there's a little picnic bench area we could tell the rest of the stories at. Once we get out of somewhere where someone will see us if we're killed. So check back in soon, hopefully.
We have successfully made it out of wherever we just were.
I got murder on my mind.
Anyways, we're doing good so far, but we're gonna do some more stories for you.
Yeah, story time. Let's deep in the woods. There's civilization here. No one can kill us, hopefully, without other people saying.
Oh,
Hopefully.
I get it. So it's more secluded, so murders happen because you're more secluded. I just was like, it doesn't really matter, because like, you know, but I get it now.
You're so pretty.
Don't lie. I'm gorgeous.
It's free story time. Springdale Cemetery in Peoria, Illinois is a historic cemetery. Currently it has 78,000 bodies buried there. And there is one public mausoleum as well as 15 private mausoleums. Gabby. There is rumored to be satanic cults, not cults. There's rumored to be a circle referred to as Cole's Circle or the Witch's Circle, because it's named after the Cole family, who was the owner, like they were the owners of the first distillery in Peoria. In addition to the Witch's Circle, it is said that multiple people have chosen to hang themselves from the sassafras.
No.
Multiple people have chosen to hang themselves from the sassafras trees surrounding the cemetery and in the cemetery. It also has a connection to one of Peoria's first serial killers.
Serial rapists.
He also murdered people.
True.
One of Peoria's first serial rapists in the 1930s, when a woman's body was found. Gabby, I am talking about a rapist. When a woman's body was found dead in the cemetery, completely naked. Her murder went unsolved for quite a while until a fellow victim of the same person came forward because she survived the attack and identified him as Gerald Thompson, and the dead woman got her justice. These are just some of the legends surrounding the Springdale Cemetery in Peoria, and after this we can push some links at the end if you would like to go there or anything.
Fun fact, we were going to go to Springdale and record this entire video, but it's located still in like, we were planning on...
Spicy part of Peoria.
Spicier part of Peoria, and we were planning on going...
Gabby,
And we were planning on going later at night, and we just didn't feel like messing with that right now. So That was our original intention, but definitely not somewhere that you want to be too late at night, simply because of the cemetery's history itself.
When I said the link will be in the bio, that is not me encouraging you to go at dangerous times.
I'm encouraging you to go.
No.
It does. It does.
Murder bad.
Murder is bad, but
You guys are even dressed like the angel and devil that sit on people's shoulders.
You got, okay, listen though.
look,
Listen,
if
okay.
you don't get murdered, it's fine.
Let's be honest. People who do scary stuff like horror movies, for instance, for example, the Blair Witch Project, they're famous now. They might be dead, but they're famous now.
Girl.
Is that real?
No.
What? No, that's
Do you
such a
also
lie.
think paranormal activity is real?
No, because it's paranormal activity. I thought those were clips from like some students that like.
Oh my god.
It
That's the
is.
whole point of it, Gabby.
It is. They're real.
If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna go throw myself into this river.
She found his tongue. That's real.
No more ghosts.
Honey, they made it and made it seem real, but
It
That was
was.
the scary part of it. is
But
that
they
people
said
thought it was
they
real.
said at the beginning of it, these are real clips that we found from missing.
Yeah, that's like the whole point. It's to make you think it's real, and then at the end they're like,
that should be illegal. They can't tell you it's the truth.
is that right? Do I actually know the story behind Blair Witch Project?
No, it's real.
You might want to fact check us on this
Hold on,
specific
give me a minute.
instance.
Hey Siri.
is the Blair
Hey,
Witch
Siri?
Project based off of a true
Hey
story?
Siri. Hey. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Hold on.
It's
Give me
literally.
Is the Blair Witch Project
it's
real?
not.
You're lying.
Girl.
I'm not reading that.
So it's supposed to be made
Is the
to look
Blair
like
Witch
it's real.
Project real? Please, listen to me. Please. What was that? It's the Blair Witch.
So mine, I'm gonna tell the one that happened most recently. It was
Oh.
the night I left for Tennessee. Me and Bree were laying in bed with my little sister, and Bree and I's legs were like this because I don't have a very big bed. And we were talking about how my house is like kind of creepy, and I heard like banging the other day, and it was nobody because nobody else was upstairs, but I knew it was coming from upstairs. And then like I just felt something in the room get really heavy, and I was thinking to myself as like Bree and Addie were talking, and I was like, does anybody else feel that, or is it like just me? Am I just psyching myself out? About that time, my cat jumped onto my bed and onto my foot where Bree and I's foot was touching. It wasn't her cat. It wasn't my cat. I said, oh, hi, Bubba, and Bree looked at me like I was crazy. I mean, I am, but I know what my cat feels like. I've had him for a while. He's like 11 pounds worth of cat. I know what it feels like when he jumps on the bed. So I stood up a little and I turned my head, and he's still laying behind my door where he was laying like when this conversation first started. And so then I realized that something literally grabbed my foot, in my own bed. And I might be crazy, but like Bree was right there, and Bree did not feel a thing.
I was laying in bed, right, and I had my cat like cradled in my arms because he's just a baby. And this was like a month after my brother decided, not decided, it was an accident.
In case y'all didn't gather, he's dead.
What?
Your brother.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, background information.
But anyways, so this was like a month after it happened, and I was just laying there, and for the background too, like all the time when he greeted me, like he would just like shake my hair, like before saying hi, before saying anything, he would come up to me, shake my hair, and like start talking, right? And I was laying there, and all of a sudden, like strong, it was definitely there, like my hair just got like grabbed like this, right? Gabby, don't cry, you'll make me cry.
That's so sweet though.
Right? So I think I'm crazy, right? But that's like, then I look like at my cat, and he's just like wide-eyed, like purring and looking right above my head, and I was like, hey Trenton, what's up, shawty? So
How you so?
that's my best ghost story, like the happiest one.
It proceeds to eat my shoulder.
I'm the mud guy. Catherine, don't cry.
Catherine, suck it up, Jesus.
Guys, this is the first time I haven't cried with that word because I'm a material girl.
Yo.
I have 3. So, down in Cahokia, Illinois, where it's like
Good old Cahokia.
Good old Cahokia, Illinois, where the Cahokia Mountains are. If you know where that is, it used to be a French settlement. So, basically, when my mom was young, she had this family that lived next door, and they were like kind of family friends of them. My grandpa used to be really close to them. The one that I found out was related to me. So they were really close to each other, and one day the father of the family found out that he had prostate cancer. And so instead of living his life out for however long he could, he shot and killed everyone in the house.
Oh, girly.
Oh my God.
Just wait. All his family friends, and then proceeded to kill himself in this one room in the basement.
Oh my goodness.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Wow.
So that no, it gets worse. It gets worse.
How does that get worse?
It gets worse. So, also, fun fact, my grandpa's really close friends with them, and he's a rug cleaner, so he had to go in and clean the rugs.
No.
Yep. He had to go in and clean the rugs. My grandpa had to go in and clean the rugs after everything happened.
Ooh, Gabby, this is really good lighting.
Absolutely not.
So then, later down the years, when my mom was like a sophomore or freshman in high school, this new family, like, they started renting out the house. This new family came in. They were living there for a while. It was there was a mother and her 2 sons. And so, what was I gonna say? And so there was a fire that night. This was after everything happened, right? And so everyone gets out except this one kid. It's the same age as my mom. This one kid was stuck in this bathroom with like a closet. There's a window and a door. They could not get the door open to save their life. It was like firefighters. They should be able to get the door open. So they were like, oh, he's probably against the door. So then they tried to go through the window. Fire like shoots out of the window, so he perished in the fire. But they go back in. He's in the closet. He is nowhere near that door. Big bulky firefighters couldn't open the door because they thought he was like next to it, so they thought it was like slammed shut. They couldn't open the door.
Against it?
No, it was completely perfectly fine. So then they look underneath the house. The room that the father killed himself in was the exact same room that was like below the room that they couldn't get the kid out of. So they both died in like the same area. So then, to put some background, when it was a French settlement in Cahokia, there were these witches that were burned on a tree that was right outside of the house. They bury the ashes underneath the house. Do you want to know which room they buried it under?
Oh my.
No.
The room where the dad killed himself. So it's just a chain reaction. Yeah. Yeah, my mom told me that one. She goes, I never told you that? So, the next one, what was it? Okay, I have one. Oh, my house.
I love Gabby's house is the most
my old
haunted
house.
place. Oh, her old. Never mind.
My old house used to be very haunted. I used to hear doors like close. But this happened in my grandma's house. So my grandma's house like was burned after like I was born, whatever. So whenever it was still like up and running and my grandma was still alive, my brother used to like go there all the time, and he would stare up at the stairs and go, Angel, Angel, and just stare and point up there. So then every single time my brother was alone in his room, he couldn't like turn on the TV. The TV would turn on and it would just static.
Oh,
just static every single time.
Poltergeist?
That's what I hear in my head. It's just TV static all the time.
yeah, we can try.
And then so my house now, one day there was like, I was just chilling by myself, and my door was closed and all I hear is scratching. Like my dog was scratching at the door. I was like, oh my God, Blue, go away. And then it just keeps happening. I keep hearing scratching. So I open my door, no one's there. And then my dogs are outside. So I don't know what that happened. And then last but not least, I was having a sleepover with Savannah, and my feet were by her head, so she could have obviously pulled my like leg. And so I feel someone yank my leg, and I'm like, Savannah, that's not funny. Don't yank my leg. She like swears up and down. She was like, that wasn't me. I didn't even touch you. My hands were like right here. I was nowhere near your leg. And so she was like, did you feel someone pull your leg? I literally felt one hand grab my leg and just yank it. So yeah. Anyways, you want to tell the other story?
I love talking about Gabby's current house because it is the most haunted place I have. Anyway, Gabby, this old lady was a family friend of my family, who lives in where Gabby's house lives now. And she made a living off of like baking cakes. That was her big thing, is she baked a whole lot of cakes. Very sweet woman, but she passed away. So
in the house.
In the house, yes. And the story is that she will still bake cakes for people, like guests that come over and stuff. And
she baked a housewarming cake for us.
No, literally. So I heard that Gabby's mom was like, when they first moved in, Gabby's mom was in the kitchen and she could just smell like cakes being baked. And like this woman baked a phenomenal cake. She baked a cake for my mom and dad's wedding, whatever. Baked really good cakes. But she was baking a cake in the kitchen. So I had heard about that and I was like, okay, whatever, seems right. And I'm dog sitting Gabby's dogs while they are out of town. So no one else is in the house, and I'm down in the basement because the dogs had somehow broken out of the place that they had been in. So that in itself should have been my first warning sign that someone let the dogs back into the house after I'd put them outside.
Oscar's a miracle worker.
I'm not blaming the dog. I love Oscar, but
no,
yeah.
He was alive at that time.
Not when I was taking care of him.
He
No,
was dead. Yeah,
he was dead.
yeah, because that was before
he died.
my
So I was like, that's a little bit sketchy. I'm gonna just walk through the house and see if they did anything. And I'm down in the basement and I just smell a cake and I'm like, oh boy. And next thing you know, I get so dizzy that I have to like fall down. And that was it was like the biggest head rush I've ever felt in my life. And I was like down in the basement. I like collapsed against this like pole that Gabby had sitting in the middle of her basement for a support structure.
with hands.
And then they get home. And Gabby's mom was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. And I was like, great, we have both met the ghost of Gabby's house. And that is, you know.
Yeah, and also the same area where Neil like felt dizzy is the same area where my dogs won't go past. Like they won't go to the back kitchen, they won't go to my dance studio, they just like stop.
The entire
right
back
there.
half of Gabby's the back half of Gabby's basements, the dogs won't go near.
They won't.
And the second I stepped over the half line is when I like thought I was gonna die for a second. It was great. It was a wonderful time.
Love that.
I will never take care of Gabby's dogs again.
Yeah, they hated you too.
So, I used to live in Mackinac when I was really young, and I had a bunch of friends in Mackinac, and one time, like, all of our parents, all of us, like, we all went on a little vacation to this little place, I think it's in, like, Indiana or something, and, like, we went camping there, and so we're camping and everything, right, and all of a sudden, like, we're just, like, the kids, we're just wandering around, and we stumble across this like clearing, right? And in this clearing there's like this big like cool cabin, right? And we were kind of like trying to see if there's anything in there, you know, being nosy little kids. Like it didn't look like it was abandoned, like it looked like it was abandoned, but like not terribly old abandoned, right? And like we like this was not a hard clearing to miss at all, right? Like it wasn't like we would forget. So then the next day we go back there because like it was just fun to play at. Like our parents, they were grilling or something, we were like, hey, can we go play? And there's like 10 of us, so we all go there, right? And we go to the clearing and the cabin's completely gone, like no remnants of it. The grass is completely green, like it's not like they tore it down or anything like that. And like it was so petrifying, and I thought I was just crazy for the longest time after like this happened. And I always like just, I was little, you know, it was just my imagination, whatever, right? And we had never really talked about it after that. But then, full circle, I was at my brother's funeral. I feel like I'm talking about, anyways, I was at my brother's funeral and I saw my best friend who was also there, Skyly, and we were just sitting, we were just talking about when we were kids and stuff, and she's like, do you remember when we, like, there was that cabin in that clearing, and we went back the next day and it was completely gone, and like my jaw dropped. I was like, I'm not that crazy. So that still pretty spooks me. So I don't like cabins anymore. Neil?
So you saw that coming for like 3 minutes before it happened. I'm sitting here on this rock and I'm prepped. And
I was confused as to what you were doing. I was like,
Bree
Neil?
would like give me just a moment to.
That's fine.
Did we get our talking minutes done?
Yeah, you're
You're hugging my leg. You're hugging my butt.
She's been waiting for this moment.
Catherine, what would you have done if that was a murderer? You would have died. Figure it out.
And on this week of Total Drama,
I'll definitely do it again.
Guys, can we go to Mackinac and get on like the whitewater raft?
No.
What was my near? Where was it at?
You're not gonna whitewater raft in my near Illinois. What?
Illinois.
Catherine, you got any
guys
ghost
wanna go
stories for us?
Yeah, I do actually.
I love whitewater
Okay,
rafting.
so this happened when I was a kid, and I actually remember this. Okay, so we went to my dad's work friend's house.
I can see you two in the background.
Oh.
Okay, so my dad had like this friend from work who owned a condo or something in Michigan, and so we went over there and we're staying the night there. It was me and my mom and my brother and my sister, and I was there and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a shower. So I go to get in the shower, and then I realized that I left like something outside, and so like I opened the door and I still had the shower running. And when I opened the door, there's like wet footprints all over the carpet.
What?
And I was like, I haven't even stepped in the shower yet. What's going on? And then I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, well, maybe like my brother took a shower in the other room and like, I don't know. So then I go downstairs and I was like, did David take a shower or something? Like, what's going on? And my dad's work friend, like her face was like, what? And I was like, well, like, did David shower or something? Like, there's wet footprints upstairs, like something like that. And she was like, because apparently this man, the man who owned the condo before, died in the bathtub there.
What?
He died.
You know with The Shining where the woman's in the bathtub?
I hate that scene.
He died in the bathtub there, and she told me that, and I was very young, and I was like, oh, and there was wet footprints upstairs, and I don't think I ended up showering there, and we left the next day, and we never went back.
I dropped my mud ball.
God,
I think that's my only ghost story.
We are all here at Funk's Grove to film the next part of our social cultural documentary vlog. It's really early. It's really cold. It's really early. I was supposed to pick Gabby up at 6:50, and I texted Gabby and I was like, Gabby, can we just push it back until 7 and risk being late? So we did. And then instead of taking us to Funk's Grove, my Google Maps dropped us off in the middle of Shirley. And it was like, Zach Manahan's house, that's your destination. I was like, it is most certainly not. And it's like, yes, it is. You're going the wrong way.
And then Neil was like, Gabby, can you look to see where they're at? And I like don't know how to look at that. So I
This is why you bring extra Gabby for
Remember Darla from Finding Nemo?
Okay, so anyway, so I was looking on the map. I go, well, they're going this way, and we're going this way, and they're on the interstate, and we have a curve.
Girl, you thought we were on the interstate?
It looked like
They went on the interstate. Long story short, Gabby does not know how to read a map, so she was not helping me at all either. And I just relied on my internalized compass, and I got us here.
Think that Gabby would be able to read a map?
No, Gabby can barely read anything other than a picture book.
Okay, guys, literally, I'm running.
I forgot gloves, and Gabby won't stop complaining.
What are we even doing here?
I'm literally about to start crying real soon.
I'm not this type of weight. I can't do it anymore.
You know,
Oh, and then Gabby gets Nesquik because she loves Prairie Farms, and she's drinking her Nesquik, and she's like almost crying in my car because Nesquik doesn't taste like Prairie Farms, and she doesn't like it.
because listen, my dad and I used to go to Casey's whenever
I'm not putting your dad trauma in this vlog. The only positive is that it's very pretty out here.
no positive.
I can't see anything. The right is too sky.
Murdered out here. That's kind of.
Oh yeah, we're out here to talk about the people who have been killed themselves, murdered, found, dragged, discarded.
Found, gagged.
Why haven't they been murdered?
So our
Go for the zip line.
I kept getting mad because we kept blinking during
There's a lot of mud. We may be the next 5 people to die out here.
Probably.
We might be the next victims.
At least, Gabby.
It's so cold.
Sure.
It is so cold.
I'm gonna die of hypothermia.
No.
I had a dream last night that murdered me at my own cabin.
I don't think that was
Are you sure it was a dream rather than a...
If I were to hide a body out here,
I wouldn't be hiding a body out here.
I would do it in that ravine, I think.
See, I wouldn't hide one out here because they could probably do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
guys.
It's always...
I mean, my first plan would just never have to be in a situation where I have to hide a body.
Okay, are we all holding
Like, that's
hands?
ideal.
Yeah, you have to come here with filming. I cannot do this. Anyway.
Build a wall.
No! Okay. Wait, cut the cameras.
Okay, so the last body found here was, what, like 1-2 years ago?
Yeah.
Just a couple years ago. What did that case end up being? Was that a murder? Was it a suicide?
They dumped the body here.
They dumped a body here. Okay.
It was a girlfriend and her boyfriend. The girlfriend was the mother's daughter, and they murdered her. Oh my gosh, that's my knees. They murdered her, and then they dumped her body in Hunks Grove. I think in that area.
Wait, who murdered her?
Over yonder. Her daughter.
So we're close enough to where this
And
body
her
was
daughter's
found.
boyfriend.
Yeah, we're pretty close to where the body was found. So yeah, there's been also several other like suicides out here, right?
I don't think we should use names for this though, because like respect issues.
Yeah.
I don't even
There's
know.
been several other suicides, other body dumps. Like
There'll
this
be
is
another
a
one tonight.
Yeah,
this is a popular place for activities like that to go on, which isn't really talked about. But when you look for it, you can find the actual stories of
It's
it.
really funny because they still do like all of the no, not the suicide. But no, it's really creepy because they still do all like the children's field trips here, and I'm like,
Yeah. I took a field trip
Can
here
you
in third grade.
maybe
I mean,
somewhere.
Imagine being like a little like third grader and then finding a whole dead person in the woods.
That
You'd
happens
never go to the woods again.
See, I was a third grader and we went on a field trip here, and we just almost got hit by deer who decided to run all at the same time.
That's
What all
the ones.
yeah.
And there's
Anyway, there's also a lot of ghost stories in the area.
no, that's something you would say.
I don't remember any specific ones.
Bree, do you remember ghost
Do you remember any
stories?
specific ones?
I just remember them always telling me about this man that would hang around like where the kid stuff is, not because he's creepy. That's just where he died.
Well, why'd
That's
he
about
die
it.
there? Because he's creepy.
It was like lots of times ago,
Oh,
before
so
there was a child's area.
Why is Cabby
where's
in
the
our group
child?
again?
We can change
My
that.
jip is
Where the zip line area is.
I didn't even know there was a zip line area.
We're gonna take Gabby to the zip line area.
I've never been here before,
Stay
guys.
tuned for Gabby at the zip
Gabby
line.
at the zip line. Yeah, my camera's facing the wrong way. We made it out of the woods.
Murder Woods.
We got lost for a while, but we're good now. Are we going this way? We're going this way.
Felt lost. Why am I so pink?
Because you're white.
I'm always lost.
Anyways, we made it out of the woods, and that's, you know, good starting point. Now we're in the little field area we love. We survived. We successfully did not find any bodies. But we found a zip line, and
After
I
we're done
think
with this,
at
I'll
the
make
end
it
of the day, that was what made our journey worthwhile, was the zip line.
Exactly.
Yeah, honestly,
That was
I
something
just
else.
did this for the zip line.
All right, guys, if you
We-
want 10K, like
Like
we have
and
found out,
subscribe.
on a serious note, we have found out, I said on a serious note,
G flat.
on a serious note, we have found out that there's a lot of like untold stories about pretty gruesome things just within our own school district. So that was interesting to kind of look into. And there's a lot more just located around our district in central Illinois. So
We'll be
Those.
thinking twice before they're like, hey, you want to go on this field trip? And I'm like, I choose life. Alright. Thank you. Thanks.
bye. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm scared.
There's handlebars up there.
No, because it's gonna go too fast.
Oh my gosh. Gabby!
Did I tell you I have a creepy fear of heights?
Girl, there's no height to this anyway!
Like 6 feet. All right, Neil's in the way. I'll go. If
have wheels in the way I'll go.
So I can go slow on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I want to go slow.
Well, first you have to get on it.
What if I fall backwards?
It'll be fine.
Do I get on it? Do I sit?
Yep.
Okay.
What?
It's not good for my butt.
There you go.